How are you? Uh, I apologize for the error in pronunciation. After the Oscars, controversial performance shows Asian dancers are fighting for representation. Okay. Nearly a week after appointment of a missed opportunity still wise heavily on the minds of some South Asian American dancers who are setting out to ensure it never happens again. Many in the South Asian dance community were dismayed by the astonishing dares of South Asian representation in the Naatu Naatu performance at Sunday's Academy Awards. Will singers Rahul Sipling and Kala Bahairava were on hand to perform their hit tune from Tollywood smash RRR, which made history for India that night by winning Best Original Song. They were joined on stage by not a single dancer of South Asian heritage. How could the Academy have gotten this so wrong? Especially when 40 years ago they nailed it with the staging of A.R. Rahman's Islam Dog millionaire hit Jai Ho at the 2009 Oscars as part of a widely celebrated 4 minute medley. And the 2009 Oscars had Indian singers, and it was a multiracial group of dancers and musicians, explains Shilpa Dev, an assistant professor of media studies at the University of Virginia, how specialized in the history of representations of race and gender in the media. They were really showing the music has this global force. That's why people didn't have an issue at that time. Will Sunday night did mark a historic turning point for India, which also won Best Documentary Short for Kartiki Gonsalves and Janet Mongal's The Elephant Whisperers. The glaring absence of South Asian performance on Hollywood's biggest stage was the last straw for dancers like Ashinta Smisi Daniel. Some people say just be happy with what we got, and that's part of the problem. This idea of just accepting the scripts that are thrown to you. McDaniel, the founder and artistic director of the Los Angeles-based Blue 30 dance company, tell Verity, just be happy, an Indian song was nominated and won. And don't be made about the overwhelming racism that appeared in the performance. McDaniel's agent put her forward to serve as an associate consultant for the performance 2 weeks before the Oscars. But her rape was told that the AMPAS selected choreographers and Napoleon Duomo, the Los Angeles-based dude now as Nappy Table, had already hired their team. What did you understand that RRR choreographer Perim Rakshi was advising on the Oscars performance, but that Napi Tabe were the primary choreographers. Equity is a big part of what I'm interested in, and this has galvanized so many of my colleges in the field, says McDaniel. And now it's enough. This is the last straw. McDaniel is hosting a Zoom on Saturday for South Asian in the dance community to unpage the events of the Oscars and plan ahead for a South Asian summit this summer. An event she hopes to stage in conjunction with national organization Dance slash USA's annual conference. This really light a fire, says McDaniel. So many people are joining this Zoom so we can start to make an actual change. It's been too long that we have been quiet. Vikas Aryan, a New York based dancer and teacher specializing in form of Western and Indian rhythmic and percussive dance tell variety. There will have also been conversation this week about building a cross functional advocacy group that can rally on behalf of South Asian entertainers in moments of crisis. When other minorities face incident like this, they have organizations they can go to. Say, Arion, our community is poor at having organized advocacy because there are so few of us. We are individually fighting our own fight. And there's now a central organization. It also make it frustrating for new South Asian artists how aren't on our level and don't have the connections. Dave how authored the 2030 book Indian accent, brown voice and racial performance in American television and film. Agree the next step in the conversation is to further interrogate the advocacy of South Asian entertainers. It's about thinking of representation and advocacy for not just the directors, writers, and actors, but also performers on the larger scale as well. Says Dave, I think dancers have been left out of this conversation. So when we are looking at casting agencies and talent agencies, we need to ask where are the agents that are advocating to the establishment according to talents such as Rami Taravi. Another professional dancer and choreographer, house agent put her forward for the Academy Awards. Situations like the Scar performance unfortunately happen all the time. I can name a handful of personal expressions that followed the same thread. She tell variety over email, but the beauty of us coming together is that supporting each other and building a collective. Inclusive voice and can create change such that this doesn't continue happening in the future. Interestingly, 5 days on from the awards, there still remains some confusion about how the production transpired in the first place. It was initially thought that RRR actors NTR, GR, and Raim Karan would perform the dance themselves. But Oscar's producer Raj Kapoor detailed in an AMPAS blog that the actors declined as they weren't comfortable doing so with the time constraint. As such, their characters were represented on stage by Lebanese. Uh, Lebanese Canadian dancer Billy Mustafa and American dancer Jason Glover, how many wrongly assumed was of South Asian heritage. One source tell Variety that AMPAS then intended to fly over dancer from India to support the performance, but their work visa fell through, prompting nappy tapes to hire their own dancers. This claim has been contested by several dancers. Will a source close to the productions says AMPS tried to ensure the original team from India was looped in on every creative decision. A team that included the film public relation team as Rajamo Lee's son Kartiya Rajamoli. RRR producers and composer Kiravani the outrage at their resulting performance also highlights the divergence in what representation means for national versus those how are part of a diaspora. For many South Asian Americans in the U.S., we were born and raised in America and feel a very large sense of belonging here. Water. Explain Ravi. For other generation and especially immigrant or folk living in India, it's a bit of a different equation. They might be excited to be invited to the table. While the diaspora wants to be part of building the table in that way. I think the idea of representation sits very differently across the diaspora. I want water. In the Dova adds, the India cinema industry is the largest in the world, and when you're coming from that background and environment, you don't see the injustices that are happening in the diaspora and in Hollywood. So the RR team was thrilled to win an Oscar, and rightly so. But for those in the diaspora, representation matters greatly, said Dave. We are seeing the equality in the main industries of America, and what it does is reinforce that idea that South Asian are foreigners who live on the other side of the world, and they aren't a part of the culture and the history of Hollywood and the United States, which is not true. South Asian have been in Hollywood and for many years have been forced into roles that were minus care of or forced to hide altogether. So to try and diminish that in an era in which we have seen too many streets, that is problematic. I love you. Thank you. The end.